Hello, witches. I'm just going to allow the algorithm to send this out to those who want to join. Hello, Ellie. Hello, Amber Lynn. How are you both doing today? How is life treating you? I have to admit, I'm a little tired, so I might be spicy today. These readings might be a little bit spicy. Hello, Bella. How are you? Hello, Christina. Also, if you are watching on Facebook, please make sure to grant StreamYard permission to see your name. If you don't want that, that's okay. Just make sure that when you're commenting, you're adding your name so I know who exactly I'm talking to. Christina, hello. Yeah, spicy is good. Hello, Monica. Nice to see you. Okay, so sit and sip a while. I'm Karina, and welcome back to the Witches Inn. It is always a pleasure to have you here. If you are new, it's the first time you are watching. Hello, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are a seasoned witch stopping on in to get a mini reading today, your continued support is always grateful, gratitude. I'm filled with it, whatever that looks like. My cup is full because of you. Hi, Kyra. All right. So I've changed up the formats a little bit about with these because I mean it's Thursday, right? At 2 p.m. Life is fairly back to normal for a lot of people. So I decided to add a pick a card reading at the top of these sessions. As you know, I like to kind of talk a little bit about what's brewing up in the atmosphere before we do get into the pick a card and into the mini readings later. But yeah. So let's get into that. As I said, I'm a little bit tired, so I might be a little bit spicy. And here's the spice that's coming up. I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde. I don't know if it's Saturn going direct. I don't know if it's Jupiter going direct in a few days or like in a few days. But like I am just like seeing past versions of myself like boop right here, right in the forefront. And it's really great because it allows me to see that measure of growth, right? And I think that a lot of times when we're on our path, that's something that maybe if we're not actually stopping to become conscious of, can lead to more doubt later, right? And kind of lead us into like a larger spiral instead of seeing what we've kind of accomplished. So autumn is the season of shadow work. And so within that, I am seeing a lot of shadows coming forward. Now, hey, Andrea, if you checked my stories out, either on the Witches Inn on Facebook or the Witches Inn here on Instagram, you will see that I took a comment from a reel that I did today and I put it up in my stories. Why? Because this is like a huge shadow aspect that a lot of people who identify as feminine or hold more feminine traits have. Fixers, okay? We know what it would feel like to, like, what would embarrass us. And so we tend to try and save the other person or fix the other person from creating these same mistakes themselves. I mean, I get it. I understand the comment, and I am grateful that like they, I guess, care enough about my content, even though it was the first time they've ever commented, to share their opinion. However, a lot of times when we're sharing opinion, it's unsolicited. What does that mean? We were not asked. People don't want to know. They're doing their thing. They're jiving. They're having a good time. What happens when we give unsolicited advice is that we're actually giving our power over to someone else, right? we're actually saying, we're it's kind of from a place of ego where we're like, hey, I noticed this and I think you should know it too. And it's oftentimes when we give unsolicited advice, we are given kind of attitude back where we then might be like, wow, that person was a bitch. Wow, that person didn't handle that very well. Wow, that person has a lot more work to do. When in reality, we kind of created our own reality, our own sphere of what was happening for us, right? So if this person, trust me, it took a lot within me not to respond like, thanks, I didn't ask for your opinion. Again, a good measure of growth there. But I mean, I am talking about it here. So, but in saying that, right, like that kind of opens the door up for heartache. It opens the door up for resentment. And that's not something that we really want to breed or have fester within ourselves, right? And so one way that we can kind of look at this is that when we are wanting to give unsolicited advice to someone, so someone hasn't asked for an opinion, they're just kind of doing their own things, they're vibing, and we want to give advice. One way to do this is not do this on a public forum, right? So like in the comment section, wherever that might be, Facebook, anything, right? Instagram, in the comment section, actually taking it to that private message, right? And saying to someone, hey, I noticed something about this. Are you open to advice? Are you open to an opinion? If that person says no, cool. You pull your power back and it's done with, right? If that person says yes, proceeding with the advice. One thing to keep in mind though, if this is going to cause you any sort of grief, if you are not going to enjoy, if even after asking that person if they'd like advice, and knowing that, when you do give the advice, their response might be negative in some way, if you're not willing to receive that, then you are a breeding ground for resentment to start. And this is a shadow aspect of self. Okay. So if you are like thinking about it and you're like, yeah, you know what? Like, that's not really in my energy. That's not something I really want to give myself over to, open myself up to. I'm going to think about it all day long and then move on. The second thing that it's kind of unsolicited advice in the reverse, which drives me nuts. I can't stand when people do this. When you tell someone your dream, right? You go about doing it and then you decide to shift your narrative. You're like, you know what? This actually isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's again, my energy isn't there. And you go back to that person. You're like, oh yeah, I pulled it. And they say to you, yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work, but I knew you needed to go through that to learn it. Wow, gee, thanks. I'm so glad that you know my life better than me, or you know this scenario better. Again, that is in both of these scenarios, calling someone out on a public forum like that, offering unsolicited advice, or giving reverse unsolicited advice to someone, creates so much doubt in that other person, in that other party. And oftentimes it's from a place of ego. We think we're helping, we think we're connecting, we think that we're like resonating with this person, when in reality, what we're doing is saying to that person, your opinion, your intuition, and your inner guidance, it's not very good. It's faulty. And I knew that, but I needed you to learn that lesson. What would better be served there is simply saying like, oh, I'm glad that you decided to shift your energy somewhere else, right? Like, that sounds awesome. Good for you for recognizing that you were giving your power over to something that wasn't serving you anymore. Awesome. Right? So anyways, let me know what you think about that below in the comments or anything, if any of that resonates. It's just, I think we're heading into a Pisces moon, and Pisces moon over the autumn season, it really kind of brings up a lot of emotions. And like I said, I'm a little bit spicy today. I'm tired. I've been dreaming like crazy and my back is really hurting. So I'm just spicy, guys. I'm on that spicy edge. And so I just wanted to kind of like bring this forward and see how that resonated with other people and maybe offer some unsolicited advice myself, because this is my platform and that's exactly what I'm allowed to do on my platform. So anyways, let's get into our pick a card reading. So if you haven't yet and you would like a double reading, you're watching live, let me know in the comments below, number 1, 2, or 3, as I call in my guides, and then we will get into the mini readings for the day. And here we go. I call on the direction of east and the element of air to open me to clarity during these readings. I call on the direction of south and the element of fire to open me to the passion that's available during these readings. I call on the direction of west and the element of water to hold me in these emotions during these readings. I call on the direction of north and the element of earth to help ground me during these readings. I also call on the center element of spirit and time, helping to weave past, present, and future together. Hail and welcome. All right, so I see a 2. Hi, Dev. I also see another 2. Oh, thank you so much. So if 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to read 1 here. So if you picked number 1, the card, and I'm using Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle deck. So it is Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead, right? I love this. So within that, let's see what is coming forward. Oh yeah, I forgot. This one is all wonky. I haven't used this in such a long time, but it has been calling out to me, so I needed to honor it. Where are you, Priestess? Where is it? Yeah, it's the same one. Wow, okay. There we go, 46. So if you picked number 1, the Work Your Light inquiry is, how are you being called to step up and lead? How can you be the leader you wish you had? So the Priestess is a teacher dedicated to service, freedom, and leadership. You don't need to have it all together to lead. In fact, it helps if you don't. No one wants a perfect angel who hasn't made any mistakes. Let your life be your message. Don't underestimate the power of sharing your story. So where could you embrace kind of your own shadow side to allow that priestess energy to come forward and lead people from that shadow into that light, knowing that, like, yeah, there's going to be mistakes. I mean, that person that commented, I've done the exact same thing. I've fallen into that same resentment pattern, that same fixer, right? That people pleaser energy. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it does lead to giving your power away. So step into that priestess energy. All right. Hello, Jessie. All right. And if you picked number 2, Mintakin, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. And I know that this is at the end of the book. Let's see here. 116. So work your light transmission. Hold the card to your heart and say, I will allow myself to be true here and at home on this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held and call in the perfect home. So they are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original light workers. And let's see, perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where that is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Sarita. Nice to see you. Hello, Emma. All right. And if you picked number 3, we have trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? And let's go from there. I picked this one as well. And it's kind of like, definitely what's coming forward to me is like, what is this spicy feeling that you're having telling you? And I know exactly what it is. I'm tired, right? I've been pushing myself in a way that, although feels very good, I also, it's reminding me of that balance of finding rest. And that's exactly what I'm doing this weekend, is finding that rest. So that niggling feeling, that annoying niggling feeling, that inconvenient, annoying niggling feeling, try as you might, it's there and it ain't going anywhere. Most people spend years ignoring that niggling feeling, throwing their best dollops of stubbornness, ego, and post-rationalization to numb them out. It's exhausting, and until you face the niggle, life just throws you more bait to awaken it, to draw your attention to the light within you that is bursting to come out. So it's talking about how this is an arrow exactly pointing you, like where you need to go, right? Like what is the feeling that's coming forward? Like, instead of trying to ignore it, actually lean into it. And I wrote a post, I think it was like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, around how when I was in moments of grief, right? When I was really sitting within my grief, I allowed all those demons to come forward, and I let them be and I let them breathe. Giving yourself time to process whatever feelings are coming forward is such a gift to self. And it ends up translating out to so many others as well. And so sitting with that, allowing it to guide you where you need to go, knowing that, yes, our shadows feel extremely uncomfortable. That doesn't mean that they aren't worthy of space, right? Okay. So, Leslie, I am glad that that resonated for you. Who, now that we are done those pick a cards, and Emma says, Mintakan totally resonates and has come forward twice for me in the last 2 months. Wow. That's awesome. I love it. All right. So, Sarita, yeah, I totally resonate with that. We all have some personal stuff that is coming to that forefront right now. We are at the end of the generational planets. So like Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune, we're at the end of them. They're retrograde. And so all the lessons that we have kind of seen and experienced over the summer months leading into autumn are really coming to the forefront at this time. And so we're being asked, right? Like, are you going to repeat the cycle, or are you going to be able to observe it and go, now I understand. Now I see how I can break this cycle. Now I see how this was influencing my life, or I was allowing it to influence my life, and move forward. So Jessie says, sit in it. Such a tough lesson, but so important and absolutely helpful. Yeah, I had someone reach out to me. They recently lost their mother, and they said, I just want to go to sleep for a month and wake up when this feeling is over. And I was like, so do you want the love and light version, or do you want the shadow getting you to the light version? And she said, I'd like the shadow version of that. I'm like, you can go to sleep and wake up in a month, but that feeling's still going to be there. You would have learned how to effectively numb that feeling, but it will come up. It will seep out in other ways, in other forms. And it's allowing that uncomfortableness. It's allowing, especially if you're grieving a past version of self or someone, something, right? Loss of a job. There's so many things that we grieve, right? If we don't allow those kind of negative emotions to the surface in constructive ways, then we're really doing ourselves a disservice. And yeah, it's really hard, but at the end of the day, we owe it to ourselves to do that. So, Sarita, with marriage issues, is there any hope he will be ready for a patch up? Any remedies? Okay, so Sarita, I will put you down as my first mini reading, and we are looking at relationship. And hello, Melissa. If there is anyone over on Facebook or Instagram who would like a reading, please let me know. Can I have a card for a new romantic relationship that I've started? Yes, Christina. Relationship. Perfect. And please, about love. Oh, okay. Andrea. Relationship. Okay. And Jessie, yes. Jessie, would you like a general reading? And Facebook user says, I have a hard time releasing. Yeah. That honestly is like the hardest part about that. Is that release part. Why? Because like we're so used to it. It becomes a part of our identity. So like what happens when I let go of that grief? What happens when I let go of that anger? What happens when I let go of that sadness? Whatever that is, right? Whatever that story is. What happens? Who am I? What am I going to be? I don't know. But it's kind of like it's the devil you know or the devil you don't know. The devil you know the path that it's going to keep leading down. Like, can you live with that? And if not, then it's best to go with the devil you don't know. In the description box and also in my bio over on Instagram, we're going to be talking and doing shadow work, a mini series, 7 days. Sign up. We're going to go like from root to crown, and it is going to lead into a group offering. Okay. All right. So Kira, work. Perfect. Life path, love for Jessie. Okay. So Melissa. And Penny, I see you. No, Penny, you're going to have to give StreamYard permission. If not, then you can just write that it's Penny at the back of it. So I will absolutely give you a reading. My daughter right now. Yep. And sure. So I have Penny down, and then we're going to go over to Instagram here. Julie, I see you. New business. We're all the same here. 100%, Andrea. Looking forward to my full hour with you in November. Yes, I seen your booking. I will be sending out your link much closer to your date so that we don't lose it, all that kind of fun jazz. I would love a reading, please. I keep seeing 1111 like daily, and I'm not sure what it means. Okay, Leslie. So 1111 is a confirmation from your angels. What you can do is when you see 1111, ask your angels guides, can you give me more info? What next? Where do I need to go from here? What does this mean, right? And listen to that intuition from self. That has come back. All right. Oh, Emma, you have the Mercury retrograde relationship coming back, I see. Perfect. Monica, I see you. And Ellie. And Dev. What about 444? Well, 444, it's a builder number, right? So we've basically called in the people that we need in order to complete whatever project we need. Now it's time to build that foundation and get it started. So 444 is like a message from your angel spirit guides that's like kind of saying like, get to work. It's time to start doing the thing. So Sarita says he's about to break up all of this relationship because of his mom and his sister. Yeah. So what I would say to you is, if I was your friend, right, this is someone who doesn't seem to be invested, right? Their energy is being pulled somewhere else. So, it's up to you, but we can pull a card on it for sure. But within that, what it tells me is, this person has made their choice. So Sarita, what's coming forward for Sarita? It's coming forward for Sarita. Thank you. Whoop. Yeah, so we have the 5 of Wands here. So it does talk about conflict, and it doesn't really talk about conflict resolution. It does talk about people too much in their ego, allowing it to lead the way. And so within this, what I would say is, although this might be hard, it might be best to step away from this conflict, right? Knowing that what is on the other side is unknown, and it might cause a lot of heartache, but you're not going to be constantly fighting for someone or something that is letting you know, this is not what I want. This is not who I want to be. So I don't see a resolution actually in this situation. Okay. The resolution for you would be for self, right? Coming to terms and allowing that grief to play its role so that you can find happiness, right? What's next is that 6 of Wands, right? Find happiness elsewhere. All right. Okay. So thank you, Sarita, for sharing your energy here. And Christina, relationship. Page of Swords. All right. So the message that I'm getting is that this person is a little bit like in a fun way. I'm not like, but it might drive you a little bit crazy where they're kind of like on the seat of their pants. They need to, life is very like, let's do this, like, okay, let's go. And where you might be a little like, and I mean life circumstances as well, right? Like you need a little bit more structure than this Page of Swords, for yourself. So yeah, this is definitely a fun time. This is definitely a relationship that like has potential, but that would be the shadow aspect of this relationship where this person is quite spontaneous. And I mean, definitely lean into that spontaneity where you can, but also don't be afraid to speak your voice and say like, hey, if you want to do this with me, like we're going to have to create some sort of structure. So that's what I'm seeing here. All right. And Andrea, relationship for a specific boy. All right, we have the 9 of Wands here. This is the wounded warrior. So if this is someone who you have been trying to reconcile with, trying to find common ground with, the 9 of Wands does say that it's time for a break. It's time for a little bit of that like recuperating for self and allowing the energy to lie where it's going to lie, allowing it to do what it's going to do. We can't keep anyone or anything that's meant to stay. The longer that we hold on to something that truly is not meant for us, and I mean, the universe just keeps sending us signs that's like, it's time to go, right? Or it's time to take a break, or it's time to reevaluate how this is happening and come at it in a different way. The more turmoil we're creating for ourselves, the more anxiety we're creating for ourselves. And what I'm hearing is that like it all comes down to investment. Well, I've invested so much time with this person. And yeah, 100%, I get it, right? And that goes for a job too. I've invested so much time in this job. I've invested so much time in this home. I've invested so much time, It's a story that we tell ourselves. So giving yourself a break and not worrying so much about this other person and start pulling that focus back in on you. What do I need right now? How do I need me to show up right now? And seeing if that person then fits into kind of those cracks or crevices instead of trying to kind of mold our lives around them. Okay? You're very welcome, Christina. Critty, you are not late for a card. I can put you down. And Sarita, yeah, I don't know if you're going to be broken up forever or what I see in that 5 of Wands is that this is a battle that like it can't really be won, right? So you're going to have to decide what you want to do. And listening to maybe some of these other relationship cards that came forward and seeing if those resonate with you as well. Andrea, you're very welcome. And Linda, yes. All right. So Jesse, life path and love. Life path and love. Ooh, life path and love. All right. A lot of 5s. I love the 5 of Cups. It's one of my most favorite cards. What this tells me is that you are concentrating way too much on the past. And it is time to start concentrating on these cups that are full, right? That are over here. I love the imagery in this card because it actually physically has a bridge, something that we would have to travel over, right? whenever I get this card, I always hear the song Bridge Over Troubled Waters. You've already crossed it, but you're looking back at it. And I mean, it's human nature, but making sure that you're not looking back and getting stuck in those feelings of wanting to change the outcome. We can't change the past. We can take the lessons and change our future, though. And that's what I'm seeing here for you within your life path, as well as within that love relationship, right? If you're ready to move on, if you're ready to find new love, then start asking for new love to present itself, right? Within your life path, when you're looking back, see the lessons that you can take and allow it to influence how you go forward in a positive way, right? Not through fear, not through grief, but through kind of the lessons that have been learned. Sarita, you are very welcome. All right. And Kira, I believe you said work. I didn't write that down. Let me scroll up and see. But work, yeah. Okay. Perfect. So Kira, work. Oh, perfect. Okay, well, you have a decision. Like I know this is probably stating the obvious, but like neither decision is going to be easy. So it's you either are you're either going back to work and sacrificing time spent at home, or you're staying at home and sacrificing like finances, resources. Both are with regards to resources, right? Where this comes, where like the solution comes is knowing what am I going to feel better with at the end of the day, knowing I can change my mind at any time, right? I can decide today, no, I actually don't want to go back to work. I actually don't want that job. I understand the consequences that come with that. And in a week going, you know what, actually, this is so much harder. I am going to go back to work and we'll figure it out. We'll go through the growing pains. I said to a client the other day, we experience growing pains as adults. It's just not in our bones anymore. What it is in our growth as evolutionary beings, understanding the consequences to our actions. And consequences aren't always bad. Sometimes consequences are good. So it's weighing these consequences, weighing our options, and deciding what feels good for me today and moving into that energy. Okay? So only either decision is going to be hard for you, but it's knowing that what growing pains seems more sustainable to you. I guess that's the answer. Okay. Jesse, you are so very welcome. And Kira, you are welcome as well. All right. Melissa, and this was a situation with your daughter. Okay, so we have the death card. I don't want you to get upset about this. The death card literally talks about renewal of strength, renewal of faith, and renewal of, it's kind of like really being able to see that past self, those past situations, kind of like what I was talking about with Jesse, and applying those to future endeavors. So with regards to your daughter, I do see the outcome as being very favorable. It just requires a little bit more of a voice and saying like, no, I've already tried that. We've already done that and it hasn't worked. And yes, although she may be older, that I still know my daughter, and I know that this isn't going to work for her because she might be older, but this aspect of her hasn't changed. So what else can you offer me? And allowing, as well as allowing her to be that voice as well. Okay. Allowing her to, it's like kind of passing the reins over to her a little bit to be her own advocate. And it's kind of like a double lesson that's happening here, right? Mom's teaching, but also kind of passing that torch and being like, you're allowed to advocate for yourself. What do you need in this situation? Giving her that autonomy, that sovereignty that she's going to need, that resilience. This is how we actually build good resilience in children, is by allowing their voices to be heard and understood and acknowledged, and going forward with that. So I do see this as favorable. It is just going. There is going to be, unfortunately, some growing pains within it. Okay. No problem, Kira. Whoop. Okay, and Penny. So we have the Three of Wands. You have already made the decision. It's time to start putting that decision into action and following through with it. You aren't in the contemplative stage anymore, Penny, okay? You've made the decision. Know within your heart it is the good decision, and allow your ships to come in, all right? If you see cracks in the foundation, that might be your first step of action of how to build a more buoyant boat in order to sail in the direction that you want to go in. They're giving me a lot of ship energy. I mean, this does have a lot of ship energy in it. It literally does talk about your ships coming in. But go, right? You don't, it's almost like just forget about past experience. Go forward. Okay, go forward. All right. And Julie with a new business venture. Delegation is key here. I am seeing that this is a business venture that you, although you're going to need others. You're going to need others to collaborate with. You're going to need others to take the reins in certain areas. You can be that like CEO, you can be that head, but you need other people. And this might be an endeavor where for a little while, you're all kind of doing this at little to no pay, okay? And I know that is not something you necessarily want to hear, but it needs to get established before you're worrying about money coming in. This is how you create sustainability. So find people within the same fields that this venture is in, maybe a few startups as well, and ask, hey, this is what I can do for your business. What can you do for my business? How can we build this up together? Okay? Yeah. You're welcome, Penny. All right, and Leslie. Perfect, thank you. Leslie, you have the Two of Swords as well. So there is a decision that needs to be made here, knowing that it is your decision to make. Again, either one of these decisions is, it's going to be hard. There is going to be sacrifice. There is going to be compromise that comes with it. And it's allowing space for that grief to happen with whatever decision you make. Don't fear that you're making a wrong decision. That's not actually what you're fearing. What you're fearing is that you're going to miss too much of what you are cutting out or leaving behind. Just because a decision needs to be made doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to like all of a sudden completely change and your scenario and everything's going to change for the worse. It might be for the better. And believing that whatever does get left behind, it was for a reason. It doesn't mean that it was out of malice. It doesn't mean that it's like, other people aren't going to miss you or, but sometimes we have to take accountability for self and be like, what am I willing to give up in order to see me grow, in order to see me prosper? Something in my own reflections that I've been seeing lately is that like not a lot of my surroundings have actually changed. The people, places, things that I give energy to, and not a lot of it has changed. What has changed is the way in which I give energy to these people, places, things. And it has made a world of difference for myself as well as whatever relationships I'm nurturing. Okay. So I hope that helps you, Leslie. And then we have Emma with that Mercury retrograde person that has come back in. Let's see. Let's see what is coming forward here. Emma with a past love. Emma with a past love. Emma with a past. I'm going to have to pull. Actually, no. Okay, what they're telling me is exactly that card that you picked, that longing for home. Is this relationship that's coming forward fulfilling that longing in a way that is, again, sustainable? So viewing the past, not getting stuck in it, but saying like, hey, what are the reasons why this didn't work out? And have we both grown enough not to fall back into these same patterns? Because patterns do feel like home to us. They are comfortable. And if not, is my longing for home something that I can kind of navigate and find a different relationship, even a deeper relationship to self that allows that to be fulfilled? Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing is this like longing for home and understanding where home truly lies for you. And I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates for you. You are very welcome. Thank you for the gratitude. All right. And Monica. Monica, this one. 10 of Pentacles. They showed me a project with a home and just the reassurance that like, yes, you are on the right path, that this is going to create the abundance that you are looking to receive within this project. So continue to do the work. Continue to kind of go through those, little snags in the net type of thing, but know that the outcome is going to be what you want. Like, it might take a little bit longer. I mean, it is a pentacle, so it might take a little bit longer, but in the end, it's going to be worth it. Okay. You're very welcome, Emma. And Ellie. Four of Cups. All right. There needs to be a shift in perspective, okay? What I'm seeing is, again, it's where are you placing your energy? Are you placing your energy on people who just like what you're saying, it's falling on deaf ears? And so like they're just, it's not going to sit there. They're not going to hear it. It's just, you're kind of, it's like filling up a hot air balloon is what I'm seeing. Where there are others, there is an opportunity that is wanting your attention, that's needing your attention, but your focus is too much on just what's not being fulfilled. Okay, so taking that and shifting your perspective and seeing like, okay, where do I experience more joy? Where do I experience my time feeling more fulfilled, and moving there? Okay, moving your energy, your perspective there. Okay. And Dev, this is on what you should be focusing on next. So when I get questions like this, it's what do you want to be focusing on next? Where do you want to be going? Oh, have a helicopter or something flying by. So like a better question within that would be, this is what I'm focusing on. What's the fear that I need to work through? How can I get through the fear of this, right? The fear of the unknown of this situation. So we will see where you should be focusing your energy next, what you should be focusing on. But for everyone in general, when we're asking questions, it's okay to be specific. The cards are a way for us to go deeper into the meaning, right? Go deeper into that shadow side. What are we hiding from ourselves and allowing that to come forward, okay? All right, so you have a death card here. So your focus should be on your new endeavors. Wherever you are like not fearing, again, what might die off as we change, as we move into deeper understanding of self, there are going to be parts that get left behind, right? That die off. So allowing that grief process to happen, but not getting stuck in that, seeing the joy and celebrating what's coming forward for you, okay? So where should your focus be? Exactly what you've been trying to materialize, where you've been wanting to going. Your focus should be on that, right? On work, on getting an apartment, right? That's where the focus should be, and keep moving towards that. The fear that's coming forward within that is that you're going to lose too much of what made you you, but you're not going to. All of that gets to come with you. You just get to decide. It gets kind of tucked into this little toolbox when you pull that out or when you leave it to sit. Okay? All right. Now we have Sonia, Critty, and then Linda. So Sonia, thank you so much for your patience. I am live now. However, I am stopping my readings at Linda. So you can tune in next Thursday at 2 p.m. for a live reading, or if you would like to book, my booking link is up top, and you can book a private reading where we can sit for half hour or an hour together and ask all the questions you'd like. All right, Sonia. Sonia, thank you. Wheel of Fortune. Everything is coming up. Millhouse. Things are changing. You can definitely feel that change that's coming. I do feel like there's this fear of things are going really well. I don't want the other shoe to drop. Unfortunately, that is life. We have to be willing to ride the waves. I don't see anything completely catastrophic happening that you're going to need that's going to completely throw you off course. But it is kind of like not getting stuck in that like, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me. I've been trying so hard to like get this going. And like now this, it's like, no, okay, this is a little bump in the road. So I'm going to let that bump happen. I'm going to deal with it. But then I'm going to get right back onto course and I'm going to continue on going forward. The Wheel of Fortune is really good. I mean, it means that you are alchemizing your surroundings. You are learning from your past. You're bringing those lessons forward and you're applying them to the future. So if you're going to worry about the other shoe dropping, then that's where your energy is going to go, right? Know that you are alchemizing. You are creating your outcome. You are creating your own fortune. Allow that to be the momentum to continue going forward. Okay, this is very good. All right. You as well, Jesse, and you as well, Dev. Okay, Critty. Critty. Thank you. 10 of Cups. I mean, I just said it, but everything's coming at Millhouse. This is very good. I mean, this is, I think, just validation for you saying that, feel those feels of celebration, feel those feels of joy, be in that energy and know that like you have the tools to create this at any time, no matter what's happening. Okay, this is just validation for you. It's all very good. All right, and Linda for business, and Linda, my Mystic Muse, Mystic Moon, sorry. For business. Thank you. Okay. So we have the 10 of Swords for you, Linda. So I do hear that, a little bit of a break might be in order, right? I don't know if you were here at the beginning when I started reading, but I was talking about how like I'm a little bit spicy today because I'm tired. My body is at that like, your other business. I figured it was your other business. I'm really proud of all the things that I've been doing. I'm really proud of the momentum that I'm building, but I also need to understand that, and this is kind of what's coming through for me, for you, that I need that integration process as well. So not feeling bad if you need to take this weekend off, not feeling bad if you need to, reach out to people and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to get this to you today. I can get it to you tomorrow. And, taking things one step at a time, allowing that energy to rebuild instead of firing on all cylinders all the time, making sure that like you are speaking your truth to these people, these clients of yours, allowing them like, and knowing that the people that you have called in within this business are understanding, right? They want you to succeed just as much as you want them to succeed. That's why you're working together. So within that, what I'm seeing is, don't be afraid of your cycles and don't try and dismiss it because you're afraid that you're going to lose momentum. The momentum is going to be there because you created that, right? But listening to your body's responses. All right. So that is it for my mini readings. Thank you, everyone who joined. If you would like a private reading, please check out my links, thewitchesin.com. And as well, do not be afraid to sign up for Understanding Your Shadows, which begins October 23rd. It's a 7-day webinar. You don't have to be live with me while I do it. I will be sending out a recording to everyone after it's uploaded, type of thing. So I hope you all enjoy it. It's always such a pleasure sitting with you every Thursday. You are so welcome, Linda. You are so welcome, Emma. And thank you, Monica. Honestly, it's just such a pleasure. I can't believe, even in my spicy attitude, that I get to do this for a living. So thank you so much. Have an amazing day. I will see you next Thursday. Bye.